For more on this endless cycle of leaks, allegations, subpoenas, and the like, we are joined on set for an exclusive interview by House Intelligence Committee Chairman Devin Nunes, Republican of California. Mr. Chairman, welcome.
It's great to be here with you tonight,
Thank you for doing this. First, when you stepped aside from the Russia investigation that your committee is conducting back on April 6th, you maintain that was not a recusal, correct?
Yeah, I mean, simply put, I'm still the chairman of the committee. I voluntarily stepped aside because of these outrageous allegations against me. That the House Ethics Committee is investigating, correct? Yeah, and we set up a task force led by Chairman Conaway and Tom Rooney from Florida and Trey Gowdy from South Carolina, and they're doing a great job. Both prosecutors, and if anybody can do the job, it'll be the three of them.
There are important aspects to the work that your committee was handling here that you have not recused yourself from, or I should say stepped aside from, right, to use the proper terminology as you see it. And you did not step aside from the matter of the unmasking of Michael Flynn or others close to the president's orbit, correct? You still maintain that you are running that part of the House Intelligence Committee investigation?
Yeah, I think the way to look at this is that I've still read into everything. But what I've done, because I thought it was appropriate, as long as there was going to be these bogus charges against me until that got cleared up, I was just going to set at least the Russia investigation aside, because I didn't want to become the face of this investigation. But everything else, I'm still in charge of.
Including the unmasking inquiry?
Well, especially the unmasking. So the unmasking by one political party on another political party, okay, people that are in one political party looking at intelligence and then requesting unmaskings on another political party. We are just at the beginning stages of that. I remain very concerned about it because I think at the end of the day here, we're going to have some major changes to federal laws as it relates to how intelligence is collected and who is able to unmask that intelligence.
So you're still amassing and reviewing documents on the unmasking?
We, not only that, James, but we are only, and I stress this, at the very beginning. Remember, the first time I requested this was around the 1st of March.
Is the NSA cooperating with you?
The first time that I found out about this was in late January, early February.
Is the National Security Agency cooperating with you?
They are cooperating. It's very, very slow. It's a slow process to get the IC to get us all of the documents. But I think they know the seriousness of this, and this problem's not going to go away.
All right, let's turn to this pair of stories by the New York Times and the Washington Post, both released with that same bombshell style late in the afternoon. What's your comment on this notion that the Russia probe, now being led by the special counsel, Robert S. Mueller III, has identified an individual inside the White House, now a senior advisor to the president, as a person of interest?
Yeah, so look, like all of these stories that have been coming out, it's almost gotten to the point of ridiculousness. I mean, we can't even keep track of the stories that are coming out. And then a few days later, they end up being false. And so, how can I comment on any of this? You've got supposed leaks, people supposedly reading transcripts of information that would be classified over the phone to reporters.
Which the White House did not dispute the authenticity of here.
Yeah, so we have no idea. I can't comment on these stories. If you go to some of the stories just this week, we know are false. So for me to comment on something that just broke that I have not seen, you're asking me to do the impossible.
After the Rod Rosenstein briefing yesterday before the Senate, Senator Lindsey Graham, a Republican of South Carolina, stepped forward, and he alone had something interesting to say about what was learned in that briefing.
It was a counterintelligence investigation before now. It seems to me now to be considered a criminal investigation, but appointing a special counsel has created, I think, a dynamic where Congress is going to have to be very leery of crossing into Mr. Mueller's lane because of the possibility of a criminal investigation.
So, Mr. Chairman, the Gang of Eight, of which you are a member, which is a select group of leaders on the Hill who are briefed on very sensitive classified information, received a briefing on this investigation Wednesday night. You were part of that, correct?
Well, I'm never going to confirm whether or not a Gang of Eight meeting occurred or not.
Okay.
I will say that Senator Graham always says a lot of things. He loves talking to the media. Sometimes he's right, sometimes he's wrong.
Is this a criminal investigation as far as you understand it?
Look, what I will tell you is that all investigations are taken seriously, but they're just investigations, and all Americans are innocent until proven guilty. I strongly suggest that most people just keep their powder dry. Let former Director Mueller run this investigation properly. I think the investigations that are ongoing in the House and the Senate need to be very, very careful as to not get into the wrong lane so that you mess up some investigation. But I will just say this, that I still have yet to see any issue regarding collusion with the Russians. And one of the things that I think has gotten to the point of ridiculousness, beyond ridiculous, is that I was the one who a year ago warned about Putin, about our intelligence failures with Putin. The last administration totally ignored those warnings. They downplayed my comments. And now, every time you turn around, everything's about Russia, Russia, Russia. And, you know, I just have to say, I mean, there's a lot going on in this world. And, you know, I warned them a year ago. Okay. They ignored it. And I think we have to be, as we move forward here, you know, there's what's happening here in the Beltway, what's happening in New York, and then there's the rest of America that I think the mainstream media is ignoring. Let's move beyond the Beltway and indeed beyond our borders very quickly, because as you note, you are still being read in on all of the different things that fall under the purview of a House Intelligence Committee chairman. Among those issues would be North Korea. Let's see what the Defense Secretary had to say about North Korea's missile test last week in a briefing at the Pentagon earlier today.
They went to a very high apogee, and when it came down, obviously, from that altitude, they probably learned a lot from it, but I'm not willing to characterize it beyond that right now.
Mr. Chairman, how fast is North Korea's progress toward a nuclear weapon? Every time they test a weapon, they get better at it, which I think was what General Mattis is saying right there. And so what we're going to have to do, at some point, someone's going to have to do something. Right now, we're putting our bets that the Chinese will help. I don't hold out a lot of hope for that, but I think the administration is doing the right thing at trying to get the Chinese to be helpful. Congressman Devin Nunes, Chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, we thank you for stopping by Special Report. I think we actually made some news here. Well, thank you, James. Thanks for having me. We appreciate it.